the public hearing on the Committee on Rules. Members and guests, please take their seats.
She's on a ball, man. You know,
I'm trying to tell
she
you.
always gets shorted.
Hollow don't get hers.
Good afternoon. This is the public hearing on the Committee on Rules, and members and guests will please take their seats. This hearing is now called to order, and the clerk will now take the roll.
Chairmember Bass,
Present.
Vice Chairmember Squilla,
Present.
Member Jones,
Present.
Member Gautier,
Present.
Member Gilmore Richardson, Member O'Neill, Member Thomas.
Thank you. A quorum of the committee is present, and the clerk will please read the title of the bills.
Bills number 250845 and Bill number 250949 are both being held at the request of the sponsors and will not be heard today. Bill number 250947, an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by North Fraser Street, Master Street, North Ithan Street, and Media Street. Bill number 250952, an ordinance amending section 14-602 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Use Tables by defining building types and clarifying uses permitted in RTA 2 Residential Two-Family Attached Base Zoning District, all under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 250983, an ordinance amending section 14-503 of the Philadelphia Code entitled NCA Neighborhood Commercial Area Overlay District by amending the East Falls Neighborhood Commercial Review Area and making related changes, all under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 250984, an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Ava Street, Dearnley Street, Flamingo Street, Hillside Avenue, Shaw Street, Weigard Avenue Extension, Umbria Street, Minerva Street, and Shawmount Avenue. Bill number 250985, an ordinance amending the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Bryn Mawr Avenue, Winfield Avenue, Nevada Street, and the SEPTA Railroad right-of-way. Bill number 250986, an ordinance amending section 14-500 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Overlay Zoning Districts by creating section 14-545 entitled WFS West Fairmount Sports Area Overlay District, all under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 250987, an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Ridge Avenue, Sunset Avenue, Harner Street, Port Royal Avenue, Haggis Mill Road, and Cathedral Road. There are no other bills under consideration today.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do any members have any opening remarks? Okay, and seeing none, the clerk will please call the first panel we have to testify on Bill number 250947.
Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission.
And clarifying, it's 250952.
Is that the one?
250947.
47.
Yes.
I put myself backwards on my papers. Good afternoon, Chairperson Bass and members of the Rules Committee. I am Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I am here to testify on Bill number 250947, introduced into City Council on October 30th, 2025 by Councilmember Jones. Bill number 250947 amends the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of land in an area bounded by Fraser, Master, Ithan, and Media Streets in the Carroll Park neighborhood of the West Planning District. This bill will rezone an area at the corner of Master and Fraser Streets in West Philadelphia from RSA 5 residential single-family attached to CMX 3 community commercial mixed-use zoning district. The proposed CMX 3 community commercial mixed-use zoning district is out of context with the immediate area. This designation would allow greater height and massing than is appropriate in this setting and would permit additional uses incompatible with low-intensity residential uses nearby. The Philadelphia City Planning Commission considered Bill number 250947 at its public meeting on November 20th, 2025, and recommended the bill not for approval.
Absolutely. Chair recognizes Councilmember Jones.
So usually we start this dance where I say she needs a GPS to find things. I want to say on the record, that is not true. I've been in different neighborhoods with you, and your sleeves rolled up, and she does know her stuff. However, in this case, Madam Chair, I grew up on, as you know, on Fraser Street, the house you Umoja, and in normal circumstances where if all of those buildings on that block were occupied, that might be true. It is vacant land. And what the idea there is to create makerspace, which is more like a little light tinker shop for people, A, in the neighborhood, and some of the surrounding schools that do not have shops. Shops have been taken out of public schools. And so the rationale there is to build something where tools can be leased or lend out so that people can actually make things in the neighborhood, and particularly young at-risk males that are reaping havoc in the neighborhood and giving them something positive to do. So I understand why the Planning Commission does its thing. It's to safeguard us from ourselves. But in this case, I think we are safe with not over commercializing or over industrializing that block.
Okay. Thank you, colleague, for your commentary. Thank you so much. Duly noted. Is there anyone else here to testify on Bill number 250947? And seeing none, thank you very much for your testimony. Madam Clerk, please call the first panel we have to testify on Bill number 250952.
Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission.
Good afternoon again. Please state your name for the record and proceed.
I am Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 250952, introduced into City Council on October 30th, 2025, by Councilmember Bass for Council President Johnson. Bill number 250952 amends the Philadelphia Zoning Code by changing the zoning use tables by defining building types and clarifying uses permitted in the RTA2 residential two-family attached base zoning district. The bill amends the zoning code to clarify that attached, semi-detached, and fully detached buildings are allowed in the RTA2 residential two-family attached base zoning district. These building types were inadvertently omitted from the legislation that created the RTA2 zoning district. The bill also clarifies that medical marijuana dispensaries and smoking lounges are prohibited in RTA2 districts, just as they are in all other residential districts. The Philadelphia City Planning Commission considered Bill number 952 at its public meeting on November 20th, 2025, and recommended the bill for approval.
Okay. Thank you very much for your testimony. Any comments from members of the committee? And seeing none, is there anyone else here to testify on Bill number 250952? And seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call forward the next witness to testify on Bill number 250983.
Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission.
Please state your name for the record and proceed.
I am Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I am here to testify on Bill number 250983, introduced into City Council on November 13th, 2025 by Councilmember Jones. Bill number 250983 amends the Philadelphia Zoning Code by amending Section 14-503 of the Philadelphia Code entitled NCA Neighborhood Commercial Area Overlay District by amending the East Falls Neighborhood Commercial Review Area in the East Falls neighborhood of the Lower Northwest Planning District. This bill proposes to make a series of changes to the East Falls NCA overlay. First, it changes the height and the building requirements for CMX3 by adding a maximum building height and a minimum setback for the top story. The bill also proposes amending the parking requirements for property zone CMX 2.5 that exceed specific dimensions, requiring the affected properties to provide one parking space for every 2 dwelling units. The Philadelphia City Planning Commission will consider Bill number 250983 at its public meeting on December 4th, 2025. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee? No? Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Seeing no questions, is there anyone else here to testify on Bill number 250983? And seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Madam Clerk, can we please have you call the witness for Bill number 250984?
Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission, and Laura Copeland, Assistant Deputy Commissioner for the Philadelphia Water Department.
Do you want to go first?
Good afternoon. Please state your name for the record and proceed.
We're going to have her go first. Want me to go first? Yeah, because then I'm going to explain the budget.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and members of the Rules Committee for the opportunity to testify before you today. My name is Laura Copeland, and I serve as the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for Education, Community Engagement, and Government Affairs for the Philadelphia Water Department. Today, I'm here in support of Bill numbers 250984 and 250987. Each amending the Philadelphia zoning maps by correcting the zoning designations of certain areas within Roxborough. Before I share testimony, it's important that I thank Councilmember Jones for his ongoing support of the critical PWD corrective zoning needs in his district. These zoning updates, which directly impact PWD's ability to upgrade the city's aging water infrastructure, will help ensure that Philadelphians have continued access to clean, safe drinking water. We thank you sincerely for that, Councilmember Jones. As for the 2 bills in discussion today, making these important zoning corrections in Roxborough is a first critical step in making infrastructure upgrades possible in this neighborhood and ultimately throughout the city. These facilities are currently zoned residential, which does not include water treatment and distribution facilities as an allowable use. The Philadelphia Water Department has operated these facilities, providing critical life-sustaining water to Philadelphians for many decades. As such, we are seeking this corrective zoning designation in line with its current and future use. A change to the SP-Civ designation ensures that water utilities can be appropriately located and maintained within civic areas around the city, eliminating costly delays, seeking variances, or addressing appeals to justify existing uses. In addition, these changes give residents confidence that sites near them will remain in civic use and not be redeveloped into uses incompatible or undesirable to their neighborhoods. As some of you in this body know, this is the case for your own districts as well, where upcoming corrective zoning for PWD infrastructure repair is of the utmost importance. We've been able to speak directly to the affected district council members and their teams regarding these corrective zoning efforts happening across the city, specifically in districts 4, 8, 9, and 10. And we're pleased to say that these members expressed support of our efforts during our meetings with them in August and September of this year. To advance this same effort, passing Bill number 250984 will allow the Water Department to maintain and improve the Roxborough High Service Pump Station, which plays an essential role in public health and safety for the entire city. Pump stations like this one move water from our drinking water treatment plants, pushing treated water through a large distribution system, ensuring delivery of clean water that has proper pressure to homes, schools, businesses, and for the very important work of firefighters. This bill will correct the zoning of PWD's Lower Roxborough Finished Water Basin at 400 Durnley Street. Finished water basins are vital to our city because they provide a reserve water supply for emergencies, making safe, clean water readily available during peak demand periods when the treatment plant's capacity is exceeded. Along with that, these basins prevent water pressure drops that can lead to water contamination. Additionally, passage of Bill number 250987 will allow PWD's work at the Upper Roxborough clear wells and storage basins and the Roxborough standpipes at 600 Port Royal Avenue. The clear wells, storage basins, and standpipes are forms of reserve water supply directly improving operational effectiveness, ensuring proper water pressure, and reducing overall pumping costs. PWD is always seeking ways to reduce overall operational costs to lessen their impact on our ratepayers. Maintaining these facilities as they age, as I've mentioned today, is just one example of customer-conscious planning and project work. To that end, through our focus on ratepayers, PWD also recognizes that infrastructure improvements to pump stations and other PWD assets can raise questions or concerns among nearby residents. That's why we're committed to educating, listening, and partnering with the community with thorough outreach and clear messaging for the duration of the legislative process through the life cycle of all PWD work that will follow it. We've already reached out to the affected RCOs to let them know about these rezoning efforts. We've communicated with the Upper Roxborough Civic Association and with the Durnley Park Civic Association, whose regular meeting we'll be attending later this month on December 17th, to share additional information on our facilities and the zoning changes proposed. PWD will be doing this same kind of outreach and engagement in Districts 8, 9, and 10, and across the city, as we've had the chance to share with many of you. Overall, we want council and this committee to know that by approving these updated zoning designations, this body is truly directly improving safety, accessibility, and cost efficiency of water for all Philadelphians. For these vital reasons, PWD respectfully requests that City Council approve these zoning bills by reporting them favorably out of this committee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. I'm very happy to answer any questions to the extent I can.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Paula, please state your name for the record and proceed.
I am Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 250984, introduced into City Council on November 13th, 2025 by Councilmember Jones. Bill number 250984 amends the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Eva Street, Durnley Street, Flamingo Street, Hillside Avenue, Shaw Street, Wygard Avenue Extension, Umbria Street, Minerva Street, and Shawmont Avenue in the Durnley Park Valley neighborhood of the Lower Northwest Planning District. This bill will zone certain areas of land from RSA 1 and RSA 2 Residential Single-Family Attached District to SP Civ, Civic, Educational, and Medical District. This zoning change is to facilitate the Philadelphia Water Department to update facilities to accommodate plans to provide safer, cleaner drinking water throughout the city. The Philadelphia City Planning Commission will consider Bill number 250984 at its public meeting on December 4th, 2025. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you for your testimony. Chair recognizes Councilmember Jones.
So, Madam Chair and members of the committee, I want you to know that as we prioritize things as district council people, I can't put it on my colleagues, but I've in the past said, the water department wants something. Do I really want to upset this community, that community, in the process for them to do their jobs? And I felt that way, and I said, it's okay for them to be mad at me, as opposed to my voters. Until the day we had the water emergency, where we had to shut off intake. We hit two sources of water, the Delaware and the Schuylkill. And all hell broke loose, and we were scared about contamination. And I remember, Walmart and all of the other stores were flying off the shelves with bottled water. The city was in a panic. This department let us know, kept us apprised in real time, and I learned better to appreciate the work that you do. There's a lot of projects. Some of this zoning, how old is the water plant that we're talking about?
So I have some information, so bear with me. So there's a couple parcels in
So roughly,
this.
just roughly.
I think, so one of them was built, like for instance, the Roxborough High Service Pump Station was built in the 1950s.
Right. And the natural age of a water treatment plant is for how long?
I don't have that information, but I can get that for you.
All right, so get that to the chair. 'cause
Yes,
she
I
wants
will
to know.
definitely do that.
And I only raise that is because we make these once-in-a-lifetime investments and changes. They last 100 years. And with the advent of post-9/11 terrorist threats, our water supply is on the menu. So we need to give them what they need to safeguard it and
That's right.
and secure that you have federal mandates that you have to comply with.
That's correct.
Oftentimes, the public doesn't know. If we don't comply with it, that you lose funding, correct?
Or we could be fined.
Or we could be fined. So it's, for me, I apologize publicly for dragging my feet on some of these things, but I do appreciate now what you do and what importance it is to my constituents. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Jones. Is there anyone else who would like to, from the committee, who has commentary on this bill? And seeing none, is there anyone else here that would like to testify on bill number 250984? Okay, seeing none, can we have the clerk call forward the next bill number 250987?
Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission, and Laura Copeland, Assistant Deputy Commissioner.
And I do
of
want to
the Philadelphia-
acknowledge, Ms. Copeland, that your testimony for 250987 was previously given in 250984?
Yes.
That's correct? Okay,
Yes.
just wanted to double check that. So
Okay.
you don't have to read it again.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Please state your name for the record and proceed, Paula.
I am Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I am here to testify on Bill Number 250987, introduced into City Council on November 13th, 2025 by Councilmember Jones. Bill Number 250987 amends the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning of Ridge Avenue, Sunset Avenue, Harner Street, Port Royal Avenue, Hagees Mill Road, and Cathedral Road in the Upper Roxborough neighborhood of the Lower Northwest Planning District. The bill will zone certain areas of land from RSD3, Residential Single Family Detached, District, to the SP Civ, Civic, Educational, and Medical District. The zoning change is to facilitate the Philadelphia Water Department to update facilities to accommodate plans to provide safer, cleaner drinking water throughout the city. The Philadelphia City Planning Commission will consider Bill Number 250987 at its public meeting on December 4th, 2025. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Any questions from the committee? And seeing none, okay, Madam Clerk, please call forward the next panel to testify on bill number 250985.
Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission.
Please state your name for the record and proceed.
I am Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I am here to testify on Bill Number 250985, introduced into City Council on November 13th, 2025 by Councilmember Jones. Bill Number 250985 amends the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of a property within the area bounded by Bryn Mawr Avenue, Winfield Avenue, Nevada Street, and the SEPTA Railroad right-of-way in the Winfield neighborhood of the West Planning District. This bill changes the zoning designation for 5048 West Nevada Street from RSD3 Residential Single Family Detached to CMX2 Commercial Mixed-Use Zoning Designation. The Philadelphia City Planning Commission will consider Bill Number 250985 at its public meeting on December 4th, 2025. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Any questions from the committee? Okay, and seeing none, is there anyone else here to testify on Bill number 250985? And seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the next panel to testify on Bill number 250986.
Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record and proceed.
I am Paula Brumbelow Burns, Director of Legislation for the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 250986, introduced into City Council on November 13th, 2025 by Councilmember Jones. Bill number 250986 amends the Philadelphia Zoning Code by creating the WFS, West Fairmount Park Sports Overlay District, in the area bounded by Ford Road, Greenland Drive, the Schuylkill Expressway, Montgomery Drive, Belmont Mansion Drive, and Chamonix Drive in the West Park Planning District. Although the bill's title indicates an area larger than the one to be used for a new playing field, it will only apply to a smaller area off Chamonix Drive. The bill exempts the area from steep slope provisions, heritage tree removal, and fence height requirements. The bill will expire 1 year after it becomes law. The Philadelphia City Planning Commission will consider Bill number 250986 at its public meeting on December 4th, 2025. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee? And seeing none, thank you very much for your testimony. Is there anyone else here to testify on Bill number 250986? And seeing none, I want to thank you again for your testimony.
You're welcome.
And that being that there are no other witnesses, we will now proceed with taking public comment. Is there anyone else in chambers that wishes to testify before the committee today? And seeing none, and there are no additional comments from the committee, this concludes our public hearing. We'll now go into a public meeting shortly to consider the action to be taken on the bill before the committee, excuse me, before the bill, on the bill before the committee today. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Chairmember Bass,
Present?
Vice Chair Member Squilla,
Present.
Member Gilmore Richardson, Member Jones,
Present.
Member Gautier, Member Thomas, and Member O'Neill.
Thank you. I note for the record that a quorum of the committee is present, and the chair now recognizes Councilmember Squilla for a motion on the amendment to Bill number 250947.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I offer an amendment to Bill number 250947. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of the committee. I move that the amendment to Bill number 250947 be adopted.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded that the amendment to Bill number 250947 be adopted. All of those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carries, and the amendment to Bill number 250947 has been adopted. The chair now recognizes Councilmember Squilla for a motion on the amendment to Bill number 250983.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I offer an amendment to Bill number 250983. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of the committee. I move that the amendment to Bill number 250983 be adopted.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded that the amendment to Bill number 250983 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carries. The amendment to Bill number 250983 has been adopted. I do want to pause and recognize that Councilmember Jamie Gauthier is present. The chair now recognizes Councilmember Squilla for a motion on the amendment to Bill number 250987.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I offer an amendment to Bill number 250987. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of the committee. I move that the amendment to Bill number 250987 be adopted.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded that the amendment to Bill number 250987 be adopted. All of those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Is there anyone opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carries, and the amendment to Bill number 250987 has been adopted. The chair now recognizes Councilmember Squilla for a motion on Bills number 250947 as amended, 250952, 250983 as amended, 250984, 250985, 250986, and 250987 as amended.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that Bill number 250947 as amended, 250952, 250983 as amended, 250984, 250985, 250986, and 250987 as amended be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that bills number 250947 as amended, 250952, 250983 as amended, 250984, 250985, 250986, and 250987 as amended be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council. All of those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion carries. And if there are no additional remarks from the committee or guests, this concludes the business of the Committee on Rules for today. Thank you all very much for your attendance.